Let's go back to the scene outside that courtroom in Perugia, Italy. We are, of course, moments away from the decision. Becky Anderson is standing by outside that courtroom. And Becky, I'd imagine the tension through the roof right now as people know we're moments away from a decision in all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. The tension is palpable out here. I mean, these streets were fairly empty for most of the day. A lot of media around. We didn't have the sort of inquisitive audience that there is here now. People from all over Perugia just here to find out what is going to happen in the next few minutes. And just before we hear from the presiding judge, just want our viewers to have a sense of what they might be listening out for. We will translate what the presiding judge Hellman says. He'll be speaking in Italian, of course, and we'll be translating that for you live here on CNN. Listen up for two key numbers. If there is an acquittal in all of this, you will hear him use the number, we understand at least, Article 530. If the decision here on appeal is to uphold the conviction of murder, you will hear the number 533. So listen up for 530. That will be an acquittal. 533 suggests that the convictions will be upheld. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice slightly here. The slight sort of difficulty comes if we are getting, or if we get delivered a decision which is partially overturned, which effectively means that they maybe not necessarily seen to have murdered or sexually assaulted Meredith Kercher, but maybe interfering with the crime scene, defamation, a number of other things there, which may mean that their sentences are reduced. So I repeat, 530 means effectively that there's been an acquittal. 533 means that these murder convictions will have been upheld. Amanda Knox is in the room, as you know. The prosecutor's there, the Kercher family is there, as are the Knoxes and their lawyers. I mean, it's pretty quiet out here at the moment. We are just waiting on what is happening in the room just behind me here. Of course, as we get the decision, we will bring it straight to you here on CNN. You're going to hear it as it's simulcast out of there.
And Becky, one of the big talking points from this day has, of course, been Amanda Knox's own personal statement that she made hours ago in that courtroom in near-perfect Italian, in which she said, "I did not kill, I did not rape, I did not steal, I was not there." Talk to me about how people there in the streets have been reacting to such powerful emotional words. This all started about 9:30 local time, and Sollecito spoke first, and then I think we're going to jump into what's going on.
Becky, forgive me for interrupting. This is about to get going. Let's listen in live. The decision about to be read in the fate of Amanda Knox.
Let's wait for a minute. On behalf of the Italian people, the Assisi Court of Appeal in Perugia, after having examined Section 605 of the Criminal Procedure Code, it partially overturns the judgment of the 4 December 2009 in relation to Knox Amanda and Sollecito Raffaele that have appealed it. The prosecutor states Knox Amanda is guilty of calumny, defamation, with the exclusion of the aggravating circumstance in this criminal code, and with the aggravating circumstance of the Article 98. Is condemned to 3 years of custodial sentence. And they have the legal costs, and she has to pay legal costs.
Sostenute nel presente grado da Patrick Via Lumumba.
To Patrick Via Lumumba. 22,000 euro, 170, and to reimburse him for general expenses and accessories. Is acquitted. They are acquitted of offense of charges A, B, C, D. And with regard to E, please, because the fact didn't happen. So we have overturned. So Knox Amanda is free and Solecito Rafael as well. Please. Silence, please. Silence, please.
Indica per il deposito della motivazione il termine di giorni 90. L'udienza è...
We have 90 days to deliver the reasoning.
Amanda is free. The sentence the Knox family and 24-year-old Amanda Knox had been hoping they would hear, and now that hope has become a reality. Cheers, tears. We saw Amanda Knox, then followed by her former boyfriend, her father, Kurt Knox, followed by Rafael Solecito being held up and walked out of this courtroom. Victory for the Knox family. Let's go straight to outside the courtroom to Becky Anderson. Becky, I know you didn't see the images from outside, but I can only imagine it is a tremendous scene now where you are.
Yeah, an audible gasp when that was delivered. In fact, we were calling it out as we heard it in our ear so that people here could hear it. So partially overturned. Do remember that she was acquitted on all charges except on defamation. And that, of course, was the charge that she defamed Lumumba when effectively she said that he was involved, and indeed they weren't, and she will have to pay his costs. What I think I heard, and I may be wrong here, but what I think I heard was a sentence for that would be 3 years, but of course they've served already that amount of time, so one assumes at this point that she is free. She will go back to prison as far as I understand it this evening. I'm just keeping my eye on who is coming out of the courthouse behind me. I'm just going to give you that shot actually because we've already had some people leaving and they will all come out of this door momentarily. But from what we understand, she will go back to prison. Amanda Knox will go back to prison this evening simply to pick up her things and to fill out some paperwork. In fact, her American passport had expired since she'd been in prison here, convicted of the murder, of course, of Meredith Kercher, who was sexually assaulted and murdered back in 2007. And Knox and Solecito, her former boyfriend, were sent to prison in 2009, convicted of that. But tonight we have found out she's been acquitted on all charges aside from defamation. She will have to pay Lumumba the monies that he has asked for in civil court, and she will have to pay the charges here in court as well. Quite a remarkable end to what has been a nightmare for everybody concerned. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Lest we forget, there was and is a victim here. Absolutely. Meredith Kercher, of course, who was sexually assaulted and murdered back in 2007. Let's just keep an eye on what is coming.
In fact,
that's Richard Green, one of my colleagues coming out of the court.
Can we zoom in to that door just so we can get sort of
zoom in if you will.
There we go. Am I hearing boos, Becky?
Right, yeah, you are hearing boos.
Why? Who is this?
That I believe was Solecito's lawyer who has just walked out of the courthouse. You will, yeah. A lot of boos going on from the crowd here. It's really divided the opinion in Perugia, but what everybody will say is they want this case over and done with. They don't want this besmirching the name of this medieval city anymore. I'm going to keep the camera trained on the door there because momentarily people will begin to come out of the room, and I'm just going to make sure that we're bang up to date on exactly what is going on here.
It sounded as though they were chanting Victoria, Victoria, victory, victory. What's the sense within Perugia been with regard to the fate of Amanda Knox? I mean, it's been talked about, written about in Perugia. Has it been mixed, the reception?
Yeah, it's been very mixed. Let's stay on the door and watch for those who will be coming out momentarily from the courthouse. It has been extremely mixed. I can see Matthew Chance, our correspondent, who's been in the courthouse. I'm going to get him to come round and talk to me just as soon as he makes it around what is a mob of media here. But yes, it's been extremely mixed. Certainly there was not a lot of sympathy for Amanda Knox back in 2007 and right through 2009. But I think after these two independent investigators looked into the key DNA evidence and found that it was contestable, that it didn't stand up in court, the last couple of months has been a lot more sympathy for Knox than there have been in the past. Let's bring in Matthew Chance, who's just been in the courtroom. Matthew, talk us through what you saw and heard.
I'm a little out of breath because I just ran up the stairs, about 3 flights down, but I can tell you, absolutely incredible emotional scenes inside that courthouse. The tension as we were waiting for Amanda Knox and Raffaella Sollecito to arrive was absolutely incredible. I've never experienced anything like it, frankly. It was amazing. And you know, when that verdict came down, basically acquitted on all charges except for the defamation charge, it was just astonishing. Amanda Knox's parents, of course, so euphoric at that decision. There were whoops and chants, and people were, you know, punching their fists in the air. Amanda Knox herself, she totally broke down. I mean, she was very tense when she went in, but then, you know, when she heard that she was walking away after 4 years inside prison, she's actually walking. No, what do you mean? She's walking away. I thought somebody was telling me something else then, sorry.
I want the camera actually, Matt, and I'm going to continue to talk. But Neil, if you can just train the camera on the door, and Matt will continue to talk to me about the atmosphere in the courtroom just moments ago. The Kerchers, of course, were there as well. What was their reaction to the decision?
Well, obviously it was in stark contrast. I mean, while there's all this celebration going on in one end of the courtroom, at the other end, in fact, just in front of me, there was Meredith Kercher's sister, Stephanie, her mother, Arlene, as well. And when they heard the news that Amanda Knox was walking free, I mean, they were both very upset indeed. Arlene was looking forward. She was saying nothing, the mother. The sister was in tears, and there was somebody next to her who had his arm around her, trying to comfort her. Because remember, you know, all the time they believed that Amanda Knox and Raffaella Sollecito were guilty in the killing of you know, Meredith Kercher, the daughter and the sister, and they've been pushing all along throughout this hearing, even giving press conferences, releasing statements saying that they want that jury to, you know, uphold that initial verdict, that guilty verdict. But you know, it didn't happen.
Right. Okay, we're going to throw it back to the studio at this stage whilst we find out what is going on over there. There's an awful lot of noise at this point, but as we know, Amanda Knox will walk free. She'll go back to prison, but she is now free to go to the States.
I'm told they're chanting shame, shame. Becky Anderson, thank you so much. Our thanks to Matthew Chance as well. And let's just go back, Aisha, to the image of Amanda Knox inside that courtroom.
Absolutely, Brooke. Let's play for our viewers the moment when Amanda Knox learned of her fate.
That happened. So we have overturned. So Knox Amanda is free, and Sollecito Rafael as well. Please, silence, please, silence, please.
Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer starts right now.